First day of class, you all got your brand new notebooks. I'm looking around, people got a shiny little Trapper Keeper. Who here still likes shopping for school supplies? Yeah, I thought so. You're like, ooh, that's pretty good. A lot of the guys are like, no, I'm tough, I'm a thug, yo. All right, so what we're looking at is you got your brand new school supplies. You got your brand new notebook, so probably first day of school, every teacher, every professor in a psychology class, or any class, puts the title of their class up here: psychology, biology, chemistry, physics. And they start with this question: what is psychology? And nobody says a thing because it's first day of class and everyone's all scared and shy. And then usually they pull this down and you write down a definition like psychology is blah, 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 blah. But before we get there, does anyone have a concept, have an idea of what psychology is? Go ahead, please.
Scientific study of the mind and mental processes.
Well done. Very nicely done. Scientific study of the mind and mental processes. I'm going to say that definition he came up with is necessary, but not sufficient. It's good, but it's not enough. But don't feel bad, because we're going to find some of the best thinkers, some of the best people in psychology, philosophy, neurology. They still don't know what it is. Go ahead, please.
It also includes behaviors.
Ooh, it includes behavior. So we got the mind and behavior. Not too shabby. I've been studying this stuff for a long time, and I've read a lot of books. And if you were to look at a textbook, and it's going to tell you, every textbook's like psychology is, something. And every kind of first day, everyone copies it down dutifully, and you're like, I'm going to remember that. And when you have a test, it's going to make up a multiple choice question. Here's the problem we have, okay? Here's my definition. I don't have one. I've been studying this for a long time. There's actually one kid in the back right now who's writing down insert definition here. Don't do that. Someone's looking around, who is it? All right, so what we're looking at is when we say what is psychology, we really still don't know what it is. I know there's words, and I know you had a very good definition, and you had a very good definition. One of the problems we have is those words aren't themselves very well defined. You said study of the mind. What's the mind? That's a honeydew of a melon scratcher. That one's a pretty tough one. What does that even mean? So when we say this, insert definition here, seriously, you just signed up for class. Your first day of this class, and I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. I'm going to teach you a class on something we don't really know what it is. Oh, we can have a pretty good definition. Generally agreed upon to be the study of mind and behavior. Well done. However, there are things that are left out. What is behavior? Things you do? Reflex? What is the mind? And I think you can realize studying the mind, that's pretty tough to do. And we're going to dig into it a little bit because we really got to talk about the mind. So let's pick the word apart. Whenever you see a word that you don't know what it is or you've kind of got an idea, we're going to divide it in half. Psychology. It's got its roots in ancient Greek. Psych or psyche means mind or soul. Ology, study. You can see the root word logic in there. So psychology is roughly translated study of the mind. So we got that. Bio, the root word is life. Biology, study of life. Geo, earth, study of geology, study of rocks in the earth. So we're going to study the mind. Here's the problem. What is the mind? Where is it? Everyone here has changed their mind. What changed? Say it again? The way that you feel about it. That's a great question. We can't define feelings. We can't define you. Okay, maybe I'm coming at it the wrong way. Everyone knows what the brain is. Brain, 3-pound blob of fat. That is. And later on, we're going to dissect the brain in this class. It's a sheep brain. All right, don't get confused. Like, really? All right, I need some volunteers. Sacrifice. Not right. So we know what the brain is. Some of you still don't believe me. All right, go home, get a Q-tip, put it in your ear, and push. There's your brain. So you can hold the brain. You can weigh the brain. It doesn't matter. We know where it is. We know what it is. Where's the mind? Is your mind in your brain? I've dissected brains before. I've looked. I've cut all through them, made microscopic slides. I've never seen a mind in there. I've seen blood vessels. I've seen structures of the brain. I've seen fluid. never, ever, ever seen a mind. If you think your mind's in your brain, well, maybe it is. Well, let me ask you this way. Do you have a mind, or are you a mind?
Oh my God.
I know people are like, wait, make it stop. I don't want to be here anymore. Someone in the back's texting, Mom, help. Get me out of here. These are some pretty powerful questions. When we say, where are you? How do you know that your body isn't basically an analogy of a remote-controlled car? And somewhere in a different dimension, your soul, your spirit, you are basically just using a little joystick controller and walking your body around. Prove to me that's not right. Let me throw it this way. I'm a horrible drawer, but you know what? That doesn't stop me. Don't keep me down. You saw my scribbles there. What if we were to do this? Here's you, and you're happy. Why? Can you draw better than that? All right, you're happy until, guess what? A gigantic truck, all right, just about runs you over.
What?
I know, right? That's a horrible day. So here you are. You're on the ground. Here's the truck. I know. It ran over everything that is you, and there's like you juice all on the pavement.
Oh, ew.
But you know what? It's a miracle. Fast forward 10, 20 years, 30 years in the future, and they can do a brain transplant. It's actually not that much science fiction. When we get into the brain and neurology unit, you're going to see that science has planted the seeds of brain-computer interaction. There are such things where when people think, it will be able to control a computer or a robotic arm.
She was controlling the robot arm just with her thoughts.
There are such things where incoming signals can go to the brain, such that when people have a neurological disorder, they can have, for lack of a better word, a pacemaker, stimulate their brain in the right way to help with their symptoms. So we can get incoming computerized signals coming into the brain, and computers can read signals coming out of the brain. So it's not that far-fetched, 10, 20, 30 years. So what are we going to do? We're going to cut open the brain, cut open the skull, take the brain. Paramedics do it, and they take you to a hospital. And you know what they do with your brain? Here's your brain, squiggly things, spinal cord, cerebellum, all these little squiggly lines. And it's ended up and it's put in, uh-oh, what did I just do? Ran out of ink. There it is. And it's put in like a big vat of bubbling water. And the brain's kept alive, some mad scientist laboratory. And the brain is kept alive, it's being fed nutrients, and cell waste is taken away. And it's still alive. It's still, is it you? Well, let's discuss. That same mad scientist made a robot. The robot's got antennas, it's got microphones, it's got a speaker, it's got a body. In the brain, the back of your brain is your vision part. That's the part that interprets the stuff coming from your eyes. But you don't have any eyes anymore because it was run over by a truck. So, who's laughing at that? That's not even funny. All right, so you got cameras coming in and they're wired into the back of your brain. Microphones are wired into the part of your brain that interprets sound. The part of your brain that does speech is going to be connected to, of course, your speaker. Now, you and I know computers easily have touch screens. Your phone has touch screens. And you can program it such that it's not just if you touch your touch screen, but how hard. So you can now interpret kind of on the surface of the robot how hard the robot touches something, the type of impact. And this is going to go to the part of the brain that interprets touch. So for all purposes, this robot walks around, and when the robot video camera sees something, this brain processes it. When it hears something, this brain processes it. This was your brain. But now you see from the robot's point of view. And now you hear from the robot's head. Here's my question for you. Where are you? Where is your mind? Are you in the brain? Are you in the robot? Are you in the middle? I don't pretend to have any of these answers. If any of you do, please write them down. I'll publish your work and get the Nobel Prize and kind of take credit for it. But if you have any of these answers, by all means, let me know. So, if your parents kind of bother you with questions, first day of school, you come home, your mom's like, honey, how was it? How were your classes? And you're like, Mom, just shh, quiet. Where your mom still wants to talk. We never talk anymore, and your mom's all mad at you. Then ask your mom, Mom, where's your mind? She'll be like, what? And then walk away. You know, that's kind of what we're looking at. I think you can see this whole random conversation we had. Notice, look, in my class notes, I think we've gone down like an inch. I've got 17 pages of class notes. I think we're like 3 lines down. We got our work cut out for us. I think so far you've written down 1 or 2 lines. We really haven't learned anything. All right, so let's do it this way then. I don't know what the mind is. And I don't think you know what the mind is. So let's dip into some Renaissance artists, Renaissance philosophers. Michelangelo, not the Ninja Turtle, but the other Michelangelo. He sculpted the statue of David. Here's clearly a Simpsonized version of it. But if you look at the statue of David, it is amazing. Think about it, a couple hundred years ago, he took this, I don't know, gigantic thing of marble, and he cut with hand tools. And he made it so precise you could see the striations on the muscle. It's like a perfect replica of male anatomy. And people are like, how? How did you do this? He said, it's easy. I just chipped away all the stuff that wasn't the statue. So now we're going to take a page out of his book. I don't know what the mind is. So let's find out what the mind is not. So here's my dare. For an A, whole semester, you give me this one, you're done. You don't even have to show up anymore. Sit home, collect your A. Give me something that is not connected to the human mind, that is not related to the mind. I know people are a little shy in this class. I want you to right now pause, look around. Look around this class right now. Okay, so we got that. Is there anyone in this class whose opinion matters to you? No, not at all. This is your competition. All right, right now, if I were you, I'll be feeling pretty comfortable, pretty confident. You know what I'm saying? So here's my point to you. Don't be so shy. Throw it out there. What's not connected to the mind?
Body part and action.
Anything, a body part or an action. I think that your hand is connected to your mind. I mean, if I were to say, give me your hand, and I hit you with a hammer, you're going to feel pain.
Yeah.
I got that. Okay. Go ahead.
Is it just specifically your mind or just the mind in general?
Anything.
Because like if somebody else made a reaction or something happened to you, like a stimuli to you, like they hit you, that's not your mind because you didn't do that. But
So you're saying someone else's mind.
somebody else's happening. I don't know.
All right, I see where you're going. Let's see what's going to happen. I was going to save this later for the year. All right, we get to the pain issue. All right.
Stop.
Why would you care? Notice. Are we not connected to each other? All right. So here's what we're looking at. In my other classes, we've had, what about a black hole? One kid's like, what about this pen? I said, how do you know you have the pen? And the kid said, I can feel it. I think you can see the trap closing. So the interesting thing here is if you can't find anything that's connected to the mind, then everything's connected to the mind. The sun, the moon, a black hole, this desk, this pen. So look, we don't know what the mind is, and we don't know what the mind isn't. So what are we going to study? I mean, yeah, we got a textbook, we got terms, we got concepts, we got an important person, maybe even some dates. But you can see this is a pretty tough subject to go. Let's look at it this way. I think that you guys are probably pretty sophisticated. I think you guys know that in your brain there are a bajillion, nearly an uncounted many of neurons. I think the estimate is about 100 billion neurons. So you have these neurons, and I think you know that when neurons talk to each other chemically and electrically, a thought happens, emotions happen. And sometimes when that goes wrong, maybe that's what we call illness or abnormal psychology. Give me a nod if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. You nodded. Theoretically, if you nodded, the part of your brain, neurons connected to each other, and that made you nod. Okay, makes sense. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to think, not just think, but I want you to imagine, really imagine an ice cream. Your favorite ice cream cone. Imagine your favorite ice cream cone. Go ahead, take 3 seconds, really summon it up. Yes.
It's gonna be the cup.
No. I don't know how old you all are, but I'm a little disturbed you would even think of a cup. Real ice cream is not in a cup.
You get more in a cup.
Unless you're 7 years old and your mom doesn't want you spilled in the back of the station wagon, no more cups. It's time to graduate from cups.
Yeah, but like they put a brownie.
They put what?
A brownie in the cup.
I already don't like this class. So check it out. You've got your ice cream cone in your mind. Now, some of you might have imagined the color, pink strawberry or green chocolate chip. When you thought of your ice cream, who thought of it? What thought of it? Notice that neurons fired to make you see it. Maybe you actually saw the color. Maybe you actually remembered the taste of it. You remembered the last time you were there, and all of those take neurons to talk to each other. But my question is, what started those neurons in action? Your brain. Okay, so your brain started your brain in action.
Your will.
Your will. Okay, go ahead.
What you said is
The activity. Okay, so the activity of some neurons started the activity of other neurons. What started the activity of the first set of neurons? Okay, so, but I thought we just discussed that the neurons of your brain cause the thoughts of your mind. And so you're suggesting that it's the thoughts that cause the neurons. You mean you don't have the answer? No one has the answer to this. And different people are going to look at it differently. Some people say, you are your brain. Some people say, no, I am more than my brain. I'm my mind. Why should this stuff be studied? Why shouldn't it? Is really a question. I had one kid in my other class who's like, so we can use it on people. What does that mean? If you think, should you use psychology to make education less boring? That works. Should you use psychology to improve people's mental health? I think so. Now, I don't know if anyone here has mental illness, and we'll probably talk about that because guess what? It's much more common than people think, but nobody talks about it because everyone's embarrassed about it. But even if you don't have a mental illness, could you be mentally healthier?
Yeah.
Everyone here, I think so. Everyone could be physically healthier.
Thanks.
Was that a fat joke?
Who should study it? I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Should your mom study psychology to deal with the freaking neurotic teen? I mean, now I'm throwing you guys under the bus, but let's face it.
I'm not.
Have you all ever seen a choice? You knew what the right one was, and you knew what the wrong one was. You chose the wrong one, knowing it was wrong, knowing you were going to get caught, and you did it anyway. Who's with me on that? Nice. Do you think your parents should study psychology? Clearly. Or should you study psychology so you can deal with your mom?
Ooh.
I mean, do you have moms that are like overly protective? Does anyone have a mom that's like, honey, it's not you I'm worried about, it's the other people?
They say that all the time.
Psychology is, some people say it's a new science, some people say an old science, it depends on how you count. Psychology is really only about 140 years old. Now, some science like chemistry, physics, they're really old. So psychology is relatively young, and it's gone through its changes. Years ago, you know why people got nervous? Because you had unconscious, uncomfortable echoes from something that scared you in childhood. You don't remember it, but your parents didn't treat you right one day. And they planted a little seed of nervousness and fear, and that kind of came back. Do you believe that? How many of y'all think that people learn fear? When you were a little kid, 2 or 3 years old, you'd walk around the house all naked. When you were a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, you'd put on a play or a performance, or you sing and dance, and you didn't care who saw you. Nowadays, okay, I know anyone right now, for a sticker. For a sticker. Just a sticker. You don't know my stickers. All right, then? Because sometimes my stickers are puffy stickers. Yeah.
If we perform,
What's that?
you said if we perform.
Dance and sing right now.
Going to perform.
You're not doing it now. When did you learn this thing called nervousness or embarrassment? Is fear, is who you are,
I really was.
is it a set of chemistry? Is it learned? Is it something deep in your unconscious that happened to you in childhood? What we're suggesting is right now, all of this psychology stuff we're talking about is kind of where we are now is we're going to hit a lot of brain. You don't believe me? Let's do it this way. Does our brain make us do things? Does your brain make you do things? All right, let's do this. Everyone put your right hand on the desk. When I say go, first person to raise it in the air wins. Go! Nice. All right, put your hands down. My question to you is, did your brain make your hand move? It did. I would agree, totally. You have a part of your brain that controls the muscles of your arm, and it's going to shoot up there like that. No doubt. Did your brain make you laugh? Who is the most ridiculous person that cannot keep a straight face? Everyone, no smiling contest. Wow. Does your brain make you smile?
I don't know.
Yes. Yes, it does. It does. Okay, so now here's what I want you to do. When your parents get mad at you and they give you the lecture, the same lecture you've always had, next time your parents and they get frustrated with you and they're just looking at you like, why? Why did you do that? It was just so dumb. Here's your answer. My brain made me do it. Is that true? Yeah. Are they going to buy it?
No.
Will any one of them like, oh, don't can me that, young lady. Will they do that? And then now I want you to say, oh yeah, well then now it's your brain making you mad. Try not to be mad, Mom. What we're looking at here is, are we a brain or do we have a brain? Are we a mind or do we have a mind? I'll give you some examples. Let's look at Elliot. Elliot, this is a classic case. These things happen all the time. He developed a brain tumor. A brain tumor is a thing. It is a clump of cells fed by blood vessels. You can weigh it, you can measure it, you can dissect it. It is matter. When that was removed from him, he could not make good decisions. So when the brain surgeon cut out the tumor, oh, you don't get to learn, bye.